So, Chess Teacher Joe's back with a new edition of chess education for everyone. One thing I want to address before we get into the game here was my Irina rap about Irina Crush. I'd like to thank Jennifer Shahadi for putting that video on her Facebook page because all of her Facebook friends then got to see it, and my video ended up getting some mixed reviews. I had some people actually come up to me in person and say they loved it. I had some haters, as we call them, on Facebook. That was terrible, or that was, I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was meant to be funny. It wasn't meant to be like a legitimate song or anything. But some people said I was downright insulting to Irina, which I sort of take issue with because I don't know Irina Crush personally, but I respect her a great deal as a player, and I'm a fan. And if you listen to the lyrics in that song, there's nothing derogatory about her. In fact, I think the entire first verse was about my appreciation of her game against Gregory Khananov from the championship, where she just kind of just, you know, grabbed his head like this piece of paper and like squished it and then went bam, bam, bam. Okay? No offense, Khananov. I mean, you're the man, but she kicked your butt in that game. All right. Anyway, so that's that. Hopefully, you know, no hard feelings between me and anybody else. It's a joke, you know. Those things that, you know, a joke is when you like say a line and then there's laughter afterward. And some of y'all don't seem to understand that, so I'm trying to clarify. Anyway, game I'm about to show you is a game I played in a tournament. I'm not really going to say when because I want my opponent to remain anonymous because I really don't know the guy, and I'm going to talk about the game and basically insult the moves he plays. And it's for the sake of comedy, so I hope that if he ever sees this, he has a sense of humor about it and maybe, you know, learn something. So, anyway, e4. I played e4 because I'm a man, and if you want to be a man, and you got to play the king pawn. You know, I mean, you can play d4, but you're going to be not a man no more. So, e5. e5 is a good move. Ain't as cool as the Sicilian, but it's good. So I played d4, and every now and then I play the Goring Gambit because I sort of like the name. You know, Goring, you think of like, you know, a matador and a bull, and the bull winning and just taking his horn, just, right? So that's what I want to do here is I just want to get my round done because I was playing in a team tournament. My partner, I won't say his name, but it sort of sounded like the Unabomber, and he's at 1800. He decides to draw at 1150 in the first round. Yeah. And then in the second round, he decides to blow it. So this is the third round, and by now I'm like, I just want to just we were paired down, and I was on board one. My rating was at the time 2012. I'm playing against 1150. Okay, I was 1.5 out of 2, and so I was representing, and he was kind of, I don't know what was with him that day, but it was not good. Anyway, no hard feelings, man. Anyway, so I played the Goring Gambit because I basically had no respect for my opponent, and I just wanted to kill him within, you know, 10 moves. So you shouldn't always have that attitude, but that was my attitude here, and it worked because, because it did. So, c3, and since I try to make my videos somewhat instructive, I have to talk about the imbalance here in this particular position because we have an important imbalance that's actually important, which is black has material and white has a lead in development in exchange for it in open lines. White's dynamic advantage is a dynamic one, meaning that if you don't capitalize on it now, your opponent will consolidate and basically you'll be screwed because you'll be down a pawn. Black's goal in this position is to finish developing his pieces, get his king to safety, and neutralize White's lead in development and possible attack that comes from it. White needs to play actively, dynamically, and keep threats coming to provoke weaknesses or material loss and eventually win. Sometimes that involves trading the dynamic advantage for a static one and winning a many multitude of ways, and it's important to stay pragmatic. Moving along. Well, opponent plays d6. There's probably better moves, but I don't care about analyzing them. So I played bc4 because that's a man move right there, you know? You have some hair on your chest. I'm 23 and I'm starting to get some hair on my chest, so I put this bishop here because basically I'm 5 years old again. I'm just saving at f7. You know, it's like all the Scholastic kids do. They just put their queen up here. Anyway, so my opponent played knight f6. And I played queen b3, which I actually thought was a pretty strong move. I mean, it kind of looks just like the simplest, most retarded-looking attack, but it works. So he defended with a really goofy-looking move that confused me, not because it was really good, it was because it was actually really bad. And I didn't think he would play it because it was really bad. So I thought maybe like bishop e6, take, I don't feel like moving them. So b6, take, pawn take, maybe queen takes, check, queen takes b7, knight d7. I thought I'd be good there, but I mean, like queen d7, queen e7, that's like traffic jam central. So bishop e6, knight takes e4. I mean, that's just gotta be bad. It's one of those where you don't really calculate it. You just go, you can't take the e pawn here. Who you kidding? Well, he plays d5, and if I was retarded, I would probably take this way because, okay, so, you know, I line my queen and bishop up, and then after he puts the, you know, the bishop here, the queen and the bishop say to the pawn, "What the hell, man? What are you doing? Get the out of my way." Yeah, so I took with the knight because, like, I know he's not going to take the e-pawn. I mean, maybe the only thing that could, like, take the e-pawn is Ribka 5 or Ribka 4. True story. Now, where the heck was I? So I took with the knight because it's good, and then he plays knight bd7. Okay, he developed a piece, you know, he's got the opening principles down. So I played bg5 because I like pins, you know. So I pinned him because, I mean, I like pins. I just said that, but heck with it. Okay, so bishop to d6, and I can see tactics reasonably well. You know, I'm not saying I'm great, but knight takes f6 and then takes f7. And I thought, okay, well, sure, that gets me to a winning position, but it doesn't crush him good enough. Like, I got this sort of egotistical thing where if I'm playing somebody a lot lower than me, I can't just crush them. Like, I have to really sort of mash them up into pieces and make them wish they never lived. You know, it's terrible of me, really, because I'll play bad moves to make it happen. Because it'll be like, they're not going to see what to do. So, okay, I played f4, which, I mean, that can't be bad, because if he castles, I'd play e5, and then he's forked and pinned and stuff that I probably can't even say on YouTube. So, he plays knight c5. An instructive moment here. It's important that we move our queen back to get out of the way of the attack, but we keep her somewhere useful. So I put her on e3, because I was like, hey, I'm aiming at your king. Well, here he plays a move that's downright retarded, and I hope that if he sees the video, he just agrees with me because I'm right, and I don't want to have some, you know, 5-minute argument with him about why. He takes here, so it looks all peachy like he's guarded, but there's things in chess called, like, tactics, and they ain't helping him here, so knight takes, knight eliminates the defender, gains time. He took with the pawn. I played queen takes, knight check. He played king f8. Queen e7 is probably the best move just to get queens off, but then he's losing because he's down a piece. This just makes it quicker, which I was pretty happy about. Check. King g8. And now I played a jerk move. I mean, there's a million ways to win, but I castled queenside because, you know, in chess you're supposed to castle. He played f5. And here I was actually nice. And nice because I didn't play the jerk move. The two really jerk moves here are queen e5 and rook d3. Rook d3 because there's no defense against going to g3, even if he like tries to take the queen. So what? And of course queen e5, bishop takes, rook takes queen. I played queen d4 and he resigned on the spot. Pretty understandable in that g7 is impossible to defend for, you know, more than a couple moves. I mean, okay, it's not impossible. Queen f8, bishop takes f8, decisive material game. This would fail as well, so for those of you who can't see ahead, I mean, pow, and, man, we're freaking up a queen. If I can't win this, I'm an idiot. Okay, that's all. Where's the stop button? There we go.